Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by TwinsMVB.com. We're taking a break out of our regularly scheduled programming to cover Francisco Liriano's no-hitter against the White Sox last night. And no matter what the numbers tell you, Liriano really did throw a gem. Yes, it was the worst no-hitter of all time if you look at something like game score. He struggled to throw strikes, barely throwing more strikes than balls. He walked six compared to two strikeouts. But at the same time, a no hitter is a no hitter. He will always go down in the books as throwing his first career complete game, his first career shutout, and his first career no hitter on the same night. And that's relevant. And it's particularly relevant for a team that was desperately looking for anything to grab onto. I can't blame you if you haven't been to the site in a while because you're just too down on the team to want to hear about them more. It's been a terrible start to the season. There's kind of no two ways about that. But to me, there's three takeaways from this game. The first is that any win is big for a team that was hurting as badly as they were, to be embarrassed the way they were in Kansas City, to go down to the south side of Chicago and to beat the White Sox, no matter how badly the White Sox are playing, was relevant. They desperately needed to win. And Liriano gave them what they needed, namely, he threw a no-hitter, because anything less than that probably would have lost him the game. Two, a win over the White Sox is just bigger than any other win. This is what a rivalry does for you. These games don't necessarily count more in the standings, although divisional games do sort of count more. It just matters that the Twins have beaten their rival. They've beaten them on their home turf, and yes, this is one of a number of games that they'll play. But at a critical juncture in the season, they got a big win when they needed it. Think back to 2004. Lovie Smith was the new coach of the Bears. Media pool asked him how they were going to do this year. He said, probably not very well, but it doesn't matter as long as we beat the Packers. Week two rolls around, the Bears beat the Packers, and Lovey gets a pretty big pass from the media for that year. Yes, they went 5-11, but the fact that he said, no, we're beating the Packers, and then they went off and did it is relevant. And no, Gardenhire didn't quite throw out the same challenge, but beating your rival early in the season really does set a good tone. It was particularly relevant for a team that was hurting this badly. And the third major takeaway I have is that Francisco Liriano needed this badly. He was rumored to be on his way out of the rotation. A guy who had been just an absolute horse for the Twins last year, looked absolutely lost in his start so far this year. Needed a good start. Now, maybe he didn't need a no-hitter good start, but he needed something to get confidence back. And there's every reason to believe that this will do it for him. And part of that goes to Ron Gardenhire. I was very afraid with Liriano's pitch count climbing and his command obviously not quite stellar. The Gardenhire would pull Liriano the way he pulled Slowey last season. Now, Liriano doesn't have the same injury issues that Slowey did, but the point is still there that in a 1-0 game in which your starter isn't pitching particularly well, he wouldn't be out of his mind to go to the bullpen if he trusted Caps to get the last three outs better, especially after Liriano, put Juan Pierre on base. But he didn't. He stuck with Liriano. Liriano rewarded that trust, and I think that's going to translate into good production in his next start. Liriano needed something to grab onto, and this is going to be that thing, ideally. Now, correlation and causation, we all know, are not the same thing. So if he pitches really well in his next start, that's not necessarily a direct causation. But it's hard to believe that this won't put Liriano on a better path. Now, obviously, if he takes the week off and says, "Yeah, nuts to you guys, I threw a no-hitter last week. I don't need to worry about bullpens or side sessions," or then obviously, he's going to get hurt against the Red Sox. But, and this is all speculation, but at the same time, when your team is playing as poorly as the Twins are, moments like this can be critical junctures in the season, and obviously only time will tell if it is or not. But at the end of the day, it sure feels good to watch a guy pitch well against the rival on their home field. And who knows? If they win today and end up sweeping the series, maybe they go on to bigger and better things. This is just another sign that it's too early in the season to totally count either of these teams out. Somebody's going to figure it out and win this division. Every AL East team gets to go to the playoffs. So be sure to check back later in the week. Maybe we'll have another no-hitter to talk about. Wouldn't that be something? And by something, I mean stock up on canned food and water because the apocalypse is near. But whatever happens for the rest of the week, we'll certainly have something to talk about. So thanks for stopping by, and have a great rest of your day.